Hey, welcome back. Mobility Confessions. Special guest in town today. Raise your hand if you're a national champion, world champion, Olympic medalist, Diamond League champion. Anyone raise your hand? Ladies and gentlemen, Sam Kendricks here. Where are you based out of?
Oxford, Mississippi.
Why is Oxford, Mississippi the U.S. epicenter for excellence and springiness?
Well, it wasn't. And they even, our national governing body even sent a representative down to our town to see whether I was in part of a bunch of kooks.
I love it. And they're like, why is he jumping so high? What is in those poles? Let me ask you, so we tend to try to get in. We're just doing the 10-minute squat test. You know, this is the position you're always working on.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? And just spending some time noodling around. So if you can't do this at home, what you can do is just come up on your toes, feet straight, don't let your arches collapse, and then come back into getting as much heel on the ground as you can. Not just practicing taking a poop in the woods. What do you feel like was your greatest athletic moment in this long and storied career of jumping with a pole? What's your favorite moment?
My favorite moment was probably when I got my first medal at the state meet as a 9th grader. Because I got my shot in this event because the girls started jumping at our high school. And because the girls started jumping, I got access to some smaller equipment that our high school didn't otherwise have a budget for. And for the first couple of years, I got my brains beat out every day in training, practicing with the girls.
I love it. What, do you remember what the height was? This is the 9th grade you said?
9th grade, 12 feet 6 inches.
12.6? That's actually really high.
It was really high for me at the time.
I love it, I love it. What is your best jump?
My best jump is 6 meters, 19.8 and a half.
What's the American record?
19.10 and a half.
Oh, that is, now one of the things that you're known for is you jump on the same height pole. You don't change poles a lot, is that right?
Right, so I stay very consistent in my pole length and go up in stiffness.
You, in fact, you have a world record, don't you?
I do.
For jump efficiency.
That's right, I've jumped the highest bar with the lowest grip, they say. So the biggest jump from the pole to the bar.
It's pretty amazing. What is something about pole vault people don't understand?
People usually don't understand it. It's a pushing event. It's not like climbing a pole, it's more like swinging on a bar.
That's very confusing because I hit and I don't want to pull, I want to push, is what you're saying?
Exactly right. Pushing is life, we say. If you clutch to the pole, you'll crash and burn.
There's some meaty takeaways there. What's your trick? How do you know when you're jumping well?
Speed. Speed is your greatest friend. Speed is safety. Speed is momentum. And speed contributes to your best timing, right? I want to make everything happen quickly. I lose less energy when it happens over a shorter period of time. I want to be up and over that bar before anybody else is really taken off the ground.
Hey, usually we say speed kills. I love it, I love it. Is it difficult to be a professional track athlete and manage travel, jumping surfaces? Do people understand how difficult it is to manage all that?
Well, I can tell you that there's a monstrous step from collegiate athletics into the professional world. There's a lot that you have to take on your own shoulders that otherwise isn't asked of you. And that's just the climate of our country in athletics. And that, hey, we're from a very nurtured environment in college and high school athletics going to a very personalized individual sport, which is international track and field. It happens all over the globe.
Who do you think is jumping the best these days? Is there a country that has it done? Is it the Russians?
Well, in the past, and I'm sure this is true of a lot of sports, the Russians dominated. They had the strongest, the best, the most technical, the best coaching, they thought, and the best method. But all of a sudden, times change, and the model, the perfect athlete, is no longer a model to follow. It's not something we can adhere to. And so the Germans had a great rise in the 70s, always filling a team of finalists in the Olympics and the World Championships. And then now the French have such a strong showing, doing a very atypical style, very non-classic, but it's effective. And these guys have incredible longevity that you haven't seen before. But now I kind of think the Americans are producing the best competitors. Not so much the greatest athletes, but the best competitors that are tried and true in every level, the lowest, high school, the middles, NCAA, and then finally guys that are clutching at that next chance, trying to get on these teams.
19 feet seems like a really high bar.
19 feet is the benchmark for professional. If you can do it day in and day out, you can medal just about anything. It's
Do you feel like the top 10 guys are all pretty good?
They're the only 10 guys you see at the highest level. There's very, very little shift in the strongest 10 in any given year. We might have one or two new contenders each year, but the heart and soul of our event is 10 or 11 guys.
Wow.
But speed hides flaws as well, and very much so that guys hit a ceiling very quickly, the best athletes do. And they have to then cover so much more ground in effective timing and skill-based training that would otherwise take another athlete years and years to learn. And now they have to broach a new category when they're trying to compete with the world contenders. It's not easy.
Very interesting. All right, getting into the heart of it. You're from the Deep South. How do you feel about sweet tea?
Sweet tea is something we have for lunch, and most people don't really understand it. It's probably not good for you, but after
Whoa. Probably not good for you?
well, it's good for your heart. I think.
If I make tea, just so people understand, if I make tea and add sugar, that's not sweet tea.
No, it's definitely not.
Do you think your jumping success also has something to do with boiled peanuts and pork rinds?
Depends on where you come from. Certainly, if we have Sunday supper with collard greens, fried boiled peanuts, fried chicken. But
what is your go-to? I'm having a low self-esteem moment. I need a treat. What is that thing? Oftentimes we ask people, what's the most disgusting thing that they eat that they're ashamed of that makes them feel the best?
It makes me feel the best.
Well, because you're like, I need that.
Oh man, yeah. The essential fats and oils is what I call it. But the
So if I just call it essential fats and oils, not cookie, I'm like essential fats and oils.
it's cool. But for me, it's whatever's on the table Sunday after church.
Yeah?
It's usually good and wholesome, puts you on a good nap, and gets you ready for that Monday.
Do you believe in napping?
Definitely believe in napping where you can get it, and powering through where you can.
Where's your favorite place to compete?
My favorite place to compete is in America. Doesn't matter where. Love being in the States.
Do you think we have a different relationship with sports here?
We definitely do, but it takes people like me wanting to compete in the States to change that.
Oh, that's amazing. You're from the East Coast-ish. Red vines or Twizzlers?
What the hell's a red vine?
Wow, there it is. If we were talking about a movie called Braveheart, would you, and there were two teams, would you be on the team of the French Queen or the team of the Scottish peasant girl?
Why you gotta put me on the spot like that? If I don't answer, this is Scotland, that I'm not for the hero. I'm not for the striving
No,
good.
it's okay. There's some of us who are Francophiles.
It's okay. You know what? I think you and I are kindred spirits.
There it is. You are on the interwebs. I think track and field is so fun to watch right now. I think it's so hard to win. It's so hard to be great. Where can we find out about you?
Well, track and field is an amazing sport to watch because, like baseball, it's sometimes you can really get lost in the statistics and the growth of athletes. The best places to watch it, and we're growing avenues to do that every day, is NBC. The IAAF, International Athletics Federation, has venues to go watch that any day.
Where would we find you?
Me? Anywhere on the internet says Sam Kendricks, or just type in USA Pole Vault, you'll find me.
USA Pole Vault. Let me ask you this: how high can you jump without a pole?
How high can I jump without a pole? I'm not part of that trend where guys are trying to jump on top of vending machines and things like that. But over a high jump, I could probably jump my height.
Dude, that's actually impressive. Do you think you could jump as high if the pole's on fire? Do you think fire poles are the next thing?
I've seen it all. I've seen guys jump into barns. I've seen guys jump through hoops. I've seen guys shimmy up poles and jump over bars.
Before we go, pole vaulting became a sport because it's how we used to go over fences and things and rivers, right?
Canal jumping, yes.
Canal jumping.
They still have it. In Denmark, you can go watch that too.
I'm just saying. If you need a canal brooch, you're my guy.
Oh man, call me in a day.
Sam Kendricks. See you guys tomorrow.